What if I told you that the difference between running out of money in retirement and living comfortably for the rest of your life often comes down to just a few simple investment choices? And one of the biggest of those choices is this: which index funds you trust your retirement money with. Now, listen carefully because this is where a lot of people get it wrong. When you hear names like Vanguard, Fidelity, and Schwab, it's easy to think they're all the same: low cost, safe, reliable, and yes, to a degree, that's true. But if you're retired or about to retire, the differences between them matter more than you think. Because at this stage of your life, you are no longer playing the accumulation game. You are playing the preservation and income game. And if you don't understand that shift, you could unknowingly take on risks that your future self cannot afford. Let me ask you something. Do you know exactly how your investments will pay you month after month when your paycheck stops? Or are you just hoping the market will do its thing? Hope is not a strategy. Not now. Not when you've worked your entire life to build this nest egg. So let's break this down clearly. Vanguard versus Fidelity versus Schwab, and more importantly, which index funds actually make sense for you as a retiree. First, you need to understand what an index fund really is. It's not magic. It's not complicated. An index fund simply tracks a group of investments like the S&P 500 or the total stock market. Instead of trying to beat the market, it becomes the market. That's important because it keeps costs low. And in retirement, low cost is everything. Every dollar you don't pay in fees is a dollar that stays in your pocket. Now let's talk about the three big players: Vanguard, Fidelity, Schwab. All three offer excellent index funds, but they have different strengths. And depending on your situation, one may serve you better than the others. Let's start with Vanguard. Vanguard is the pioneer of index investing. They built their entire philosophy around low-cost, long-term investing. And if you're retired, that philosophy should speak directly to you. Their most popular fund, the Total Stock Market Index Fund, gives you exposure to the entire U.S. market. Thousands of companies in one simple investment. They also offer something retirees love: target retirement funds and balanced funds. These automatically adjust your allocation between stocks and bonds. Why does that matter? Because as you age, your ability to recover from market losses decreases. You don't have 20 or 30 years to wait for the market to bounce back. So you need a mix of growth and stability. Vanguard's strength is simplicity and discipline. But here's the truth most people won't tell you. Vanguard can feel a bit rigid. Their platform isn't the most user-friendly. Their customer service, while solid, isn't always the fastest. So if you're someone who wants more flexibility or support, you might feel a little limited. Now let's talk about Fidelity. Fidelity has stepped up in a big way over the past few years. They offer zero expense ratio index funds. Yes, zero. That means you're literally paying nothing in management fees for some of their funds. That's powerful, especially in retirement, where every percentage point matters. Fidelity also excels in customer experience. Their platform is easier to use, their support is more responsive, and they provide a lot of educational tools, which, if you're watching this, tells me you actually care about understanding your money. Now, here's where Fidelity really shines for retirees. Flexibility. They allow you to manage your withdrawals more easily. They integrate income planning tools, and they make it simpler to adjust your portfolio as your needs change. Because let me be clear, retirement is not static. Your expenses change, healthcare costs rise, markets fluctuate, and you need a system that can adapt with you. Now let's look at Schwab. Schwab sits somewhere in between Vanguard and Fidelity. They offer low-cost index funds just like the others. But where Schwab stands out is in its banking integration. If you're retired, you're not just investing, you're also spending. Schwab makes it easy to connect your investments with your day-to-day cash flow. Their checking accounts, debit cards, and investment accounts all work together seamlessly. So when you need money, it's there. No friction, no confusion. That may sound small, but in retirement, simplicity is everything. Because the last thing you want is to feel overwhelmed managing your own money. Now, here's the part I really want you to pay attention to. Choosing between Vanguard, Fidelity, and Schwab is not about picking the best company. It's about choosing what fits your retirement lifestyle. Do you want simplicity and a set it and forget it approach? Vanguard might be your answer. Do you want flexibility, tools, and zero cost options? Fidelity could be the better fit. Do you want integration between your investments and your everyday spending? Schwab may serve you best, but beyond the company, you must choose the right type of index fund. And this is where retirees often make costly mistakes. Too much in stocks, and you risk losing money during a downturn. Too much in bonds, and you risk not keeping up with inflation. So what's the balance? For many retirees, a mix of about 40% to 60% in stocks and the rest in bonds is a starting point. But that's not a rule. That's a guideline. Because your situation is unique. Your savings, your expenses, your health, your life expectancy, all of these matter. And here's a question you need to answer honestly. If the market dropped 20% tomorrow, would you panic? Or would you stay the course? Your answer to that question tells you whether your current portfolio is right for you. Now let's talk about income, because that's what retirement is really about. Index funds don't just grow your money, they can also generate income through dividends. But dividends alone are usually not enough. So you need a withdrawal strategy. One common approach is the 4% rule. You withdraw 4% of your portfolio each year. But in today's world, that rule is not as reliable as it once was. Markets are more volatile. People are living longer, and inflation is unpredictable. So instead of blindly following a rule, you need to be flexible. Some years you take less. Some years you can take a little more. The key is sustainability. You want your money to last as long as you do, and preferably longer. Now, let me give you something actionable. If you're feeling overwhelmed, here's a simple starting point. Choose one provider: Vanguard, Fidelity, or Schwab. Pick a total market index fund, add a bond index fund, and decide on an allocation that lets you sleep at night. That's it. You don't need 10 funds. You don't need complexity. You need clarity, and most importantly, you need confidence. Because retirement is not just about money. It's about peace of mind. It's about knowing that no matter what happens in the market, you're okay. You can pay your bills. You can enjoy your life. You can take care of the people you love. And that only happens when your investments are aligned with your reality. So don't chase performance. Don't overcomplicate this. And please don't ignore it. Because the biggest risk in retirement is not choosing the wrong fund. It's not choosing at all. Make a decision. Stay consistent and protect what you've spent your entire life building.